Spring Boot MVC or WebFlux, Express.js or Fastify, Django or FastAPI. These are some of the tug-of-war questions you face as a developer when it comes to choosing a web framework for your application. So what sets them apart, and how do you make the right choice? Let's dig in. Broadly speaking, frameworks like Spring Boot, when using Spring MVC, and Django traditionally follow a blocking, synchronous model. Meanwhile, frameworks like Spring WebFlux, FastAPI, Fastify leverage non-blocking, asynchronous models. But we won't bog you with too many technical details. There's plenty of that online if you're interested. Instead, let's break it down with a simple real-world analogy. Imagine two restaurants, one called Synchronous Savories and the other Asynchronous Eats. Each restaurant represents a different way of handling customers, just like how frameworks like Spring Boot and WebFlux handle requests. In Synchronous Savories, every customer gets their own waiter. The waiter takes the order, passes it to the kitchen, and then just waits around until the food is ready. Even though the waiter is standing idle, they're still busy and can't serve anyone else until that customer is served. Weird, right? But this is exactly how synchronous frameworks like Spring Boot MVC and Django operate. They assign a thread to each request. While these threads can handle multiple requests using a pool, they can become blocked if the kitchen, like a database, takes too long to prepare the order. On busy days, if there are 20 waiters and 50 customers, the last 30 customers will have to wait until the first 20 are served. The advantage of this approach? It's simple and predictable, but it can become inefficient during high traffic, causing slower response times. Now let's visit Asynchronous Eats. Here the waiters are true multitaskers. They take an order, pass it to the kitchen, and immediately move on to serve other tables while waiting for food to be ready. When the kitchen signals that the food is prepared, they collect the food from the kitchen and deliver it to the customer. This is similar to how WebFlux, FastAPI, and Fastify operate. These frameworks use non-blocking I/O, allowing threads to handle other tasks while waiting for responses from external services, making them ideal for high-traffic applications. The waiters, or rather the threads, are freed up to perform other tasks while waiting for the kitchen, usually a database or external service, to prepare the orders. This makes asynchronous frameworks perfect for handling high-traffic applications efficiently, especially when requests involve waiting for responses from databases or external services. However, with great power comes, you guessed it, complexity. While asynchronous frameworks are highly efficient, they can also be more complex to code. In some cases, such as with WebFlux, it's up to the developers to ensure that the implementation remains non-blocking. If developers accidentally introduce blocking operations or use blocking libraries, it can lead to thread starvation, negating the benefits of using an asynchronous framework. But if done correctly, these frameworks can deliver significant performance gains on the same hardware. So, which one should you choose? If your application is simple or if you prioritize ease of development, a blocking model like Spring Boot might be all you need. But if you're building a high-performance application that needs to handle thousands of concurrent users, the non-blocking model of WebFlux is the way to go. Did you know that 97.34% of people watching this right now won't like this video or subscribe? Could you be the hero who beats the odds by hitting that like button and subscribing? Because honestly, wouldn't being in the rare 2.66% be way cooler?